Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, June 6th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's gonna open in about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, one last thing. And it looks like we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. It's being sent out now. All right. Looks like we are good to go. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. Again, I'm just going to mark up the stuff that's nearby. It's kind of pointless to go super far out. Let's go down to the 8 hour. Down to the 4 hour. Down to the 2 hour. Down to the 1 hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And down to the 1 minute. All right, guys. So good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, June 6th. It's 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity below is at 38,829. And the closest level above is at 38,908. So there goes the first two levels of liquidity closest to current price. I'm going over here to the clean chart. Markup 6:30. Markup 8 o'clock. I'm going to go on the 4 hour time frame real quick, identify structure. So price is currently at the resistance, 4 hour resistance. All right, looks like we are good to go. Going back to the 1 minute. As you guys can see here, price is currently at the 4 hour resistance right now. Let's see what happens here on open. Going back to our main chart and check the news from today. So looking at the news calendar from today, we had news at 4:30, 5:30, 7, and 7:30. So 4:30, 5:30, 7, 7:30. So we had news over here, 4:30. News at 5:30, of course, per usual. We got news at 7 and news at 7:30. All right, so market is now about to open in about a minute, guys. You guys see this big pre-market push. It's probably going to reject off the sessions right here. Market is opening up in now. So market is now open. This is the opening candle. You can see prices rejecting directly off the sessions up there, like we expected. We go to each chart, pretty much mark up opening price. All right, so price is currently in the 4-hour resistance. You can see it's rejecting off the resistance point right there. As price continues to climb back down. We'll let price kind of stabilize a little bit before we start looking for actual entry. There goes the first level of liquidity above at 38,908. Already got hits a full TP, it looks like. Yeah. So you got hit right there pre-market. Already went straight to its full TP. All right, so let's see what else we got here. That's about it for right now. Prices just rejected off the sessions up here. Rejected directly off the London high. And we'll see where this goes. So price is currently bullish right now with regard to the trend. Pivots here are bullish, trend meter is bullish, price is bullish, momentum's bullish. We're probably gonna be looking for some buys today. We'll see if price finally gets past these sessions up here. If not, price might retrace back down, possibly reverse, but that'll be fine. We'll just wait for the market here to stabilize a little bit before we start looking for any actual entries. The PRB looks like you'd be setting up right here as well. We currently have the first rejection. We need the space consolidation candle and another rejection on the following candle after that. But as of now, we will continue to follow along. So there's nothing here right now. Just gotta wait for the market here to stabilize, choose its direction, and we'll be looking for some entries in that way. We got a sell signal here. We got a sell signal here, so we could possibly be looking for some V1 variations, possibly CV entries, possibly a breakout V3 continuation. A lot of different opportunities here, but you guys can see how a big range is being established right here, right now. If this 4-hour resistance gets too much in the way, we'll just delete it. We'll create new structure once new structure is built. This obviously is a new support level right here above. We'll leave it as is for now. All right, so price is dumping right below. We'll see if it establishes a new range. That's kind of what it seems like it's happening here. Established a higher high right here, which is resistance on the 1 minute, lower low right here, establishing a support on the 1 minute as well. So once this here is established, we can identify structure with regard to the possible range and then go from there. But if price decides to swing back down and continue to drop, that's completely fine. We'll just be switching from buys to sells. So there's a breakout V3 continuation right here. The trend was bullish though, so I wouldn't have taken the sell, but one pattern right there that kind of just came up. Yeah, Drew said filling the gap from news again. Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much what happened right there. Price pushed up and then it filled the gap from news right here. That big push to the upside. Probably see it better on the 5 minute. Yeah, there was a gap from news, which was probably from like right here. The gap was like from right here, this lower end. You can see stuff like that easier on the 5 minute. All right, so looking at this right here, price is still going back and forth. Again, we don't really care where price is going. We're just gonna wait, be patient for the setup here to present itself. There's not really much here to take anyways. So it looks like it's established the range now, guys. We have the higher high right here, which is the resistance, and the lower low here, which is the pending support. Hasn't been established yet until the new high comes up. So right now it's currently pending support. But if you wanted to see it from perspective, this is kind of what the range is looking like right now. This is what the range is looking like until this has been established. So I'll just draw support right here for now on the clean chart so you guys can have a better view. So the support right here is still pending. It's not established yet because there's no new high. Once there's a new high, this will be established as the support level. Candles are huge though. Wicks are huge. Volatility is decent. It's currently at 17 ATR right now. So it's moving as it should. Looking at the levels over here. All right. So what I would look for here is look for the retracement fake out. So price broke below, there's divergence for a sell. Look for the fake out above here and look for the continuation. If that becomes the case and this is what happens, my guess is that price is going to push back down to the next level right here. So just look out for the fake out, retracement, and then correction back down. It's too hard to tell right here if it's just going to drop completely. If it does drop completely, this lower low is going to be invalidated. It's no longer going to be the support. Lower liquidity right here got hit as well. Anybody caught that? So full TP on that right there as well. Anybody caught that lower liquidity? So looks like price is just ranging around this area right now. No entries for us. The trend here still hasn't confirmed yet, so we're not ready to take any sells at this moment, but we will see what happens here next. So there's a clean chart. As you can see, price is rejecting off the support level, pushing right back up. Here's the levels chart. This is exactly what I warned you guys about. So price came back down, fake out retracement, look for the continuation back down. So this needs to close above this line here, the 50 mark. So the 50 level right here, once price, if and when it breaks above it or closes above it, look for the correction back down. And we got some crazy candles right here. These candles are huge. All right, so this could be a possible breakout B3 setting up, guys, the actual breakout. Actually, I take that back. Never mind. There's no lower low right there. There's no low at all. So never mind. Take that back. There is no breakout B3. At least not yet. There's no trend here, so there's no PRB yet. So you have to wait for the trend here to establish. Back to our scalp chart, or our main chart. There's no trend here, so there's nothing that we can take at the moment. So back to the levels over here. Again, if you guys see this pattern here where price comes back down below, this will probably drop. If it doesn't come back below, then this might shift back up. We'll look for the opposite. Look for price to break above, come back below, and swing up higher. All right, so price is back in the 4-hour resistance level right here. It looks like price is just ranging back and forth. We're just gonna have to wait for some sort of confirmation here. Looking over at CNBC, let's take a look. So yeah, not really much of an update. CNBC said stocks are a little changed as traders look ahead to jobs report. So we have inflation rate year over year at 7 o'clock, and we have gas stock change at 7:30. We don't really have much news today. That's pretty much it for the most part. So we're just gonna have to sit tight right here. There's no breakout V3 continuation setting up. You can see there was no read candle there. It's actually a double body rejection. So here's a reversal pattern. This can possibly come back down. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. It's not looking like it though. It looks like price wants to push up higher from this point. So here we are back in this middle level right here. Again, if price pushes up higher, we're probably going to look for price to push up, take out, retrace, and then come back up from the whole number. So now that we have a buy signal, we have a bullish trend. This is now the direction. It's now bullish. The trend is somewhat bullish right now. It's not fully established yet, but for the most part, looks like we'll be looking for some buys here. So here goes the first rejection off the pivot. This could set up for a PRB entry. James is asking, do you guys trade NFP days or prefer to take it off? I typically trade it. I mean, if the market's moving normal, then I would take it. If it's like moving too crazy, because generally the market only moves crazy pre-market when NFP data is released, right? So it moves crazy at 5:30 and then it kind of stabilizes. So it doesn't really affect too much. Sometimes the market will continue after market open, but for the most part, it's usually pretty normal. So yeah, we don't trade during the news time, but I do trade, or we mostly do trade NFP in general. Yeah, to some people, like some people trade actual NFP data, like right at 5:30. I think that's way too risky, but like an hour passes from the data release when we get on the live, and it usually moves pretty decent. All right, William, we'll see you back here tomorrow. So William is taking the day off early today. Got some family plans. All right, so looking at this right here, we do have the first rejection for the PRB. There goes the first rejection right there. We have a space consolidation candle on the next one over here, and we'll look for it to retrace. So looking for it to retrace down, bounce off it, come back up, and that's going to be the movement for the PRB. Looking over here at the levels chart, it's pretty much what we just expected. So now that price is broken, close above it, we'll see if it retraces back. If it hits this level before it retraces back, then the whole setup moves to the next level. So it starts up here then. So it's broken the structure right here for the 50 mark. If this ends up closing above it, then we'll look for the same pattern, but up here. So look for the pattern to break above it, fake out, come back up. All right, so price is now above. It's above the 4-hour resistance now. So look out for the fake out right here, because typically that's usually what happens in price breaks big structure like that. Kind of tempted to clean this up a little bit. So I'm going to just take off this 4-hour resistance, and I'll leave it up there for right now. And then a little later, I will make some changes if necessary, because there's another zone right here. I just want to clean it up. It's just, there's too many zones. The zones are too big. So I want to see how price reacts to this resistance up here. If nothing happens, then I will leave it alone, and I'll just draw tighter resistance right there. All right, so price is above this area now. You could be looking for a possible MPS. There's a couple of different opportunities here. There's a possible MPS. The only problem with this is that price is a bit overextended at this point. So I'm going to hold off on that MPS. It's up 150 points. So one possibility right here is a possible MPS. Other than that, there's not really much else to look at here right now. You'd have to look for the retracement and continuation. Once we have that, we can maybe get a momentum divergence. Other than that, possible CV entry. There's not going to be a B1 variation here because we already have the buy signal. So we would need the opposite retracement signal before we can look at that. So, all right, exactly what I was just looking for here. So we have price breaking close past the 50 level right here. I'm going to look for it to pull back, retrace, come back up and climb. If it doesn't retrace, then, it just moves on to the next level. So it doesn't have to retrace, but if it doesn't retrace, then that just means it's going to pull back to the next level. Yeah, next to there was a high-low scalp here. However, the candle was too big. It was a huge candle, plus it was touching the sessions on both sides. So would not have taken that myself. There's no PRB yet. If price comes back and retraces to the pivot, that'll be the PRB entry. There's just been a lot of like big pushes of liquidity right here. There's not really much of a retracement. If it retraces, it typically reverses. So looking at this over here, guys, we had another level of liquidity, second level right here, full TP. And at the third level up there as well, full TP as well. So pretty much all liquidity here got hit today. If you guys caught it, great. If you guys didn't, it's fine. The thing that I noticed here too with liquidity is that if liquidity hits, it'll typically push to the next level. So for example, right here, so I do expect it to push to the next level right there. I was talking to Jacob about this the other day because he asked me a question about liquidity and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting how it works. But like if it hits liquidity, it's probably going to push up to the next whole number, which is the 100 mark right there. So I'm assuming this is going to push up to that level there. So I mean, it's a little too late to enter at this point, but if you want to do a one-to-one, and it works the same way with like the opposite direction too. So there you go, full TP right there to the next full number. So I'll go over this stuff during the next mentoring session. I just kind of figured I saw this when Jacob asked me about this question yesterday. Like I've noticed that if you turn on the levels indicator and price pushes, like if it hits liquidity, it's going to push to the next level. Same with like this right here, right? Price hit liquidity, push to the next level. Price hit liquidity right here, push to the next level. You could have entered like at this low point, and this thing would have been a one-to-one for like 42 points. So I know some of you guys like taking liquidity. I don't like taking liquidity by itself, but this is a confluence that I noticed. It's pretty solid. All right, so it looks like pretty much majority of the liquidity here got hit already. If we get some sort of retracement here, it can start setting up for a possible momentum divergence. Again, price is a bit overextended, so I would like it to actually retrace back a little bit, like enough for it to be a retracement. But yeah, again, we will be looking for this here. Yeah, Nick says sell signal would be nice. Yeah, same here. Preferably, yeah, sell signal would be good. And then maybe catch a V1 off this and shoot right back up. Because obviously right here, it's just way too overextended at this point. All right. So there goes price. Price pretty much just flew. Same setup again right here. I don't think there's any further liquidity that's close to current price. Let's see. The next liquidity is at 39,218, so it's pretty far up. Yeah, I think the liquidity chart's pretty much done for today because it's the next levels are super high up. Unless price continues to climb, then possibly, but for the most part, nothing there. We have new higher high right here. If this establishes, we'll mark that up as the resistance. Otherwise, yeah, it's way too overextended at this point. So just gotta sit tight, wait for the possible retracement, look for any possible opportunities here. I mean, price is still climbing. It's crazy how far it's climbing right now. Is there any news updates? I don't think so. Yeah, so no updates from CNBC since 9:35. So it's been almost 20 minutes now, no updates. All right, looks like we're finally getting the retracement right here. The MPS actually still hasn't came up yet, guys, if anybody's looking for it. The thing I want to warn you about though is that price is very overextended. So I'd be really careful about the MPS. Probably wait for something else like a V1 instead. Um, this could be setting up for the PRV as well. So if price comes back down, rejects off one of these pivots, comes back up, that's the PRV entry. All right. So we got price coming down right here. We'll see how it reacts to the pivot. It's probably going to bounce off that level one, possibly. So no rejection off of yet. The MPS looks like it just hit TP or it's about to. So the MPS is right here at this level. Pushing up, looks like it's about to hit its TP. It's trying to. The volatility here pretty much died down for the most part. Sell signal pending right there. We actually want a sell signal. So I prefer to have the sell signal because that sell signal will confirm the retracement. You can see the volatility here pretty much died out. But sell signal would be good. It'd be in our favor. Because then it's probably going to retrace down quite a bit. Or maybe not even at all. All right. So it looks like we're going to be waiting for a bit here. Looks like the NPS is about to hit. Yeah, the NPS just hit full TP right there, it looks like. So if you guys took the NPS, I mean, it's a risky NPS entry, but if you took it, full TP right there. So price came down. Fill was right there at the 20 mark. Filled it, went straight to TP. So there's one entry right there for the NPS if anybody decided to take it. Again, price was very overextended, so I wouldn't have taken it. Measuring from this lower low to this current price point, it was up 200 points. Way overextended. Yeah, next it would be nice to get a sell signal, then divergence cross will make for the green momentum. I agree. That's kind of what I'm looking for as well. Let's go to our levels chart. All right, so price already pretty much hit the next level, so we'd have to wait for the next level up here to be broken. It's not there yet. No PRB entry here yet. It's a clean chart. Price is climbing up higher. All right, so it looks like we're not getting that sell signal. Momentum divergence could be coming up on this candle right here, though. Probably not, but the candle have to close like super strong. So it's trying to shift back up, but it's probably not going to happen on this specific candle right here. So we got a buy signal right here, price swung up, retracement right here, divergence probably on the next candle, not this one. Yeah, it's not strong enough. It's probably gonna happen on the next one here. All right, so if this candle here closes green, this will be a momentum divergence entry. It's gonna have to close green though. Like it can't be an iffy candle. It's got to be for sure green. I'll be looking to take this here for divergence. So we got a lot of time, 40 seconds left on this candle. If the candle closes too big, which I highly doubt it will, but if it closes too big, probably hold off on it. But if it closes green, this is the divergence entry. So that 20 seconds, a lot of time. Once we get to that 10-second mark, I'll start looking at it more clearly. We're almost there. We're at the 10-second mark now. I'll keep looking at it right here. Just gotta wait for it to close. Now it's closing in 4, 3, 2, 1. Entry. So there's the entry right there. The exit is at 87. Make some adjustments here. All right.
Order submitted.
The volatility here is kind of low. I was hoping the volatility would keep up and just keep climbing, but the volatility here kind of died down a little bit. Price is pushing up. Watch it here. There you go. Full TP, guys, on the momentum divergence.
Order filled.
I'm out. Nice quick profit right there. It was perfect. It happened right before news too. News is about to happen right there. So let me just take a screenshot of that real quick. Got in, got out, profit. We on to the next one. All right, guys, let me put this over here real quick. Looks like majority of you guys here took that with me. Solid work. Gave you guys a heads up pretty much in advance. There we go. Nice. Congrats to Nick over here. Nick just passed another 150K count. So big congrats to Nick over there. Great work, bro. So we gotta wait for news to pass here at 7 o'clock. It's not super high impact, so not too much to worry about. Screenshot of this real quick. All right, so I had to make a small adjustment because of my entry. It was slightly off, so it's all good. But I did have to make a small adjustment. What's this? Just by 1 point, nothing crazy. All right, news over here at 7 o'clock. Here are my profits for that trade. So this is a trade we took right there, 656. Here are my profits. So I locked in 435 on my personal account and then 900 per Apex account right here. So not too bad. Pretty decent. Right there was going to be 1,000, but I had to drop it by 1 point because of my entry. So, all right, other than that, let's keep looking for some more opportunity here. MJ said that was kind of scary, but you said you were going to take it. So I said, fuck it. Yeah, no, definitely. That was key, MJ. I knew it was going to push through. It was just kind of tricky. I just hate when you take the entry and the volatility just gets flat, right? Because that's kind of what's been happening here. Volatility is crazy, like pretty nice, and it just flattens out and then it shoots right through. Yeah, Nick, that's why I do the 910, 920. Have one contract more. Yeah, No, exactly. I mean, lately it's just been blasting right through, so it's been pretty solid. The only thing that I had to change was because my entry wasn't on point because the candle closed and then it ended up moving a little bit. So it's all good. But congrats, Nick, for getting another funded account here with us. All right, so now we wait for the next opportunity here. News is going to happen in about a minute, guys. It's low impact news, so I probably will keep trading past it. I mean, we'll see if price reacts to it. It's forecasted to be a little change, but we'll see. Oops. Color that pink right there. Take this off. And we are good. All right, so we got news right there. Hasn't came up yet. The news at 7:30 is just gas stock change. Happens every month, every week, actually. Seems like. All right. So news hasn't been released yet, but price isn't really reacting to it too much. Let's go back over here to the levels chart. Okay, perfect. So the levels chart actually didn't hit the next level yet. So looking at this right here, you want to look for price to retrace back down. So this is the setup that we've kind of been looking for this whole time. On the levels chart, price broke and close above it. We're looking for it to break and close below. And then look for it to swing back above and finish off its move to the next level. So we finally got a sell signal right here. This is perfect. This is going to confirm the retracement. So price is probably going to retrace back a bit. And then we'll see where it takes us from here. So the PRB hasn't came up yet. We had the first rejection right here. Price came up, space consolidation all the way through. And then we don't have the rejection yet. So once we get the rejection on maybe this slower pivot, this could be a possible entry for a PRB. For anybody who's looking to take it, of course, you don't have to take it, but a lot of people here still like to take the PRB breakout entry. Daniel said this is the BB3 for the day. Yeah. Okay, so there goes the BB3 right there. Candle is kind of big, a little tricky. But nonetheless, this is the BB3 entry. It's against the trend, so it's kind of tricky. I don't like going against the trend, but this will probably hit. It'll probably drop far enough to hit its TP and then probably swing right back up. But I'm not in that position right there, guys. Just a heads up. I mean, it could possibly play because the target price point would be the next pivot right here for it to continue dropping, if it continues to drop. I just don't like going against the trend, of course. Nick said super sketchy, the trend being so bullish. Yeah, I know, Nick, you're just too excited, right? Typed out your fingers move faster than your thoughts. All right, so the possible CV entry right here, it looks like, let me see. No, so no CV entry there because this green candle was the low. For this to be a CV, Daniel, this would have to be the low. If this didn't drop any further, it would have been it. But this here would have to be the low, and then this would be the smaller green candle for it to fill. Because typically you're looking, it's like a reversal pattern, right? Price is red, and then you look for it to swing back up to basically fill this candle right here. Usually it's a big candle. So it's a huge candle, and then you get a small green one, and then it fills that red candle. That's the whole logic behind it. It happens during like very volatile markets, like this right here, actually. So like right here, pre-market. So see how this candle right here is kind of big, this green candle? It was a high, and then this was a CV entry, and then it comes back to fill that candle. So that's pretty much the thought process and logic behind CV entry. There's not really much going on here, guys. Price is attempting to climb up, but it's not really pushing. Looking over here at the BV3, it's still active. Looks like it's going to dump back down. From my perspective, it looks like it's going to dump back down and then possibly test the pivot right here. Nick said I stopped trying halfway. through typing class in 7th grade and it shows. All right, so it looks like the BV3 here is probably going to play through, guys. It's on its way to TP right there. Target price point, like I said, is probably going to be the pivots right here. It's probably going to push down to the pivots and then bounce off the pivot. And that'll set up for a PRB. Again, I'm not in any positions here right now. Gonna look for this to possibly swing back up higher. Nice. So Natasha said she waited for it to come back down and took it for 9 points. Nice work, Natasha. So Natasha got into the breakout V3 here for a later entry. She let it pull back, come back down. She took it for a quick little 9 points, which is smart. I would have done the same thing. It's just tricky. It's tricky going against the trend here. So here we go as price continues to make its way towards the pivot. Level 3 pivot right there. Still no PRB entry. And it looks like the market kind of died down a bit. It was moving pretty volatile prior. Now it's kind of flattened out, which is all good. All right, let's see. Price still has not gone down to the pivots, surprisingly. Slow movement right now. Very slow movement. It's almost there. So breakout V3 is about to hit its TP. It's coming down to the pivots like we anticipated. There we go. Full TP for the breakout V3, guys. If you guys took it, nice work. If you guys didn't, again, it's fine. For me personally, I think it'd be considered a risky entry because it is against the trend. I don't like to trade against the trend. I'm not a counter trend trader. So I personally would not have taken it, but thanks, Daniel, for identifying it for us here. And I'm not sure if you took it, but for whoever caught it right there, nice full TP. Great work, guys, for whoever caught that there. We have the rejection there, so the PRB is now running for a buy. So again, if you guys want to take the PRB, there's a PRB right there. Again, I think it's a little tricky because of where price is currently at. It's currently between the two pivots right here. I don't like taking trades in between two pivots like that because it just ends up ping-ponging between these two pivots. It's probably going to push up, but I'm just a very cautious person. I don't like taking specific entries. This could be a possible, let me see, I don't think it's a V1. Or this could be a possible CV entry right here, guys. Never mind, take that back. Candle's a little too big. If it was a CV, I would have taken it, but it's a little too big here. It's going to be too close. Yeah. The CV would have been nice because it would have went hand in hand with the PRB right here. PRB is about to hit its TP as well. Nice work. So if you guys caught that right there, 2 back-to-back full TPs on the breakouts. The breakout V3 hit full TP for a counter trend move. And then the PRB over here, it came down, bounced directly off the pivot, just like I anticipated. And it shot up to full TP right there. So nice work, guys, for whoever caught that. A lot of good entries here that are coming up. It's just a little tricky. Just a little tricky with like what's going on over here. Because of the current conditions. So unfortunately, if there was a CV there, I would have taken it because that would have been in conflict with the PRB. But unfortunately, the candle here closed a little big. So it's a no for me. There could be a possible breakout V3 continuation coming up right here if the buy signal comes up. Another something to look out for there. And then also, as you can see over here from the levels indicator or from the levels chart, the setup that I pretty much told you guys about is still possible right here. So if price breaks and closes past this whole number, the 50 mark, I'm assuming that price is going to push up to the next level over here, which is the 100 mark. So there's a possibility if price climbs back up here even further. So I'm gonna let this close. I'm gonna look for the next green candle, possible breakout V3 continuation, and then climb this up a little bit higher. So the candle's got to push past this level here. Got a lot of good confluences. Volatility's kind of picking up a little bit. So let's see how this here closes. Preferably above the line or close to it. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So if this candle here closes green, I will be taking this as the breakout V3 continuation. I'm going to be waiting for it here, though. I want to make sure that it actually closes green. So currently we have 50 seconds left on the candle. Again, I'm going to wait till the last maybe 15, 10 seconds to start looking for opportunity for entry, because right now the volatility is kind of low. So the last thing I want to do is get into it and then it whipsaws down, at the last second. So it's got to be a for sure green candle. It can't be like bouncing back and forth. It's got to be for sure green in order for me to take it. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit out on this trade here. So we got 22 seconds left on the candle. I'm going to let it push up a little more. We've got 15 seconds left on this candle. We've got 10 seconds left. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, entry.
Hold sealed.
So here goes the entry right here. Let's see where the exit's 67. So I got in at a little bit of a better entry. My exit's at 66.
Order submitted.
Looks like we're getting pulled back right here super hard. I get stopped out on this here. So I'm still in it. I got stopped out. It's all good. So unfortunately, we got caught in this. So the volatility here is just crazy. I mean, it's all good. Stuff like this happens. So the volatility was kind of slow and then it just got spiked down. So I got stopped out on that trade right there. It's all good. Took a loss on that. I'm still in profit for the week, so it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna put this over here. Yeah, that's a huge candle. I wasn't expecting that big candle to come like that. I was like, maybe it'll come down a little bit and spike right back up, but unfortunately we got caught in this one of the big candles, because you can see how like these big candles do come up sometimes, but for the most part, it's kind of slow. And then we just got caught in that huge candle. So it's all good. Eat the loss, move on to the next one. So here goes. That was for a breakout V3 continuation. Up here real quick. So we're currently up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're up 4 wins for the week and just 1 loss. So not a big deal. It's a little loss right there. This was for the breakout V3. It looked like it could have been a good trade though, for the most part. All right, so small loss right there. I'm glad that we kind of tightened the TP stop loss a little bit, so the loss isn't super hard. But yeah, I mean, the entry looked good for the most part. Like looking at this right here, the divergence was lined up. Everything was pretty much lined up. We had a lot of confluences here for a buy. So this was the entry right here. I was expecting it to push up to maybe news price. It also was above the levels right here. So I was expecting it to push up to the next level right there. But unfortunately, we got caught in that big red candle. So it's all good. All right, back to the charts. Let's see if there's anything else here we can possibly take to recoup some of that loss. Nothing here yet, but let's see if something here can come up shortly. 7:13, we still got a lot of time here. Let's see. So we got the divergence. Let's see if divergence comes back over here. All right, so this here pretty much flopped. We'll have to look for it to swing back up again. There's a V1 pattern right here. There's actually a CV. I just missed it. It happened too quickly. I don't know if anybody caught that CV right there. Looks like Nick caught it. Nice work, Nick. Yeah, it happened quite quickly. Usually if the CB lines up with the V1 pattern, it's typically going to be a good entry, and it hit right there. Pretty solid move, Nick. All right, so let's see if there's anything else here. It looks like price is just now consolidating right here a little bit. And it's like tricky where this volatility is coming from because it just gets flat and then it just randomly spikes all of a sudden. So right here it got flat again. Now it's starting to push back up. It looks like price is pretty much just in the consolidation area. Let's go to the clean chart. So here's a clean chart right here. I'm going to mark up the 1 minute resistance. There's no 1 minute support here yet, but I'm just going to mark this up right here just to kind of give an overview of like what's going on with this movement. All right, now we just gotta wait. Another opportunity right here, another big candle like I was saying earlier. All right, so there's nothing here yet. See, Nick said another green candle with divergence. Not yet. I'm gonna hold off on it. This candle was pretty big. Whenever the candles are really big like that, for me personally, I'd rather just hold off on it because the problem is that it might just retrace. Like you might get the retracement in the opposite direction. Yeah, whenever you get a big candle like that, there's also a CB entry right here. There's a lot of red flags because there's that big candle, and then on top of that, there is actually it crossed on this one right here on the next one. But again, whenever you see a CB entry right here, it it probably pushes down. It for the most part pushes down to fill this candle. So this is a perfect CB right here for a sell. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to take it because it's again it's against the trend. But this is a CB entry right here. Like I would expect it to push down and maybe fill this green candle right here. So this CB entry over here would have hit, obviously. Now we continue to wait for opportunity here. There's just nothing here yet. Trying to look for something with a lot of confluences. There's a double body rejection right here, but it's not a V1. There's no low at that point. And I hate when I take a trade and then the notifications on my phone just go crazy. They're still ringing right now from that last trade. I think there's like 100 notifications that go through. See, so 20. Yeah, because it has the entry order, it has the and then the pending order, so like 3 times 20. About 60 notifications. Yeah, you're right. I think I'm gonna do that. It's just super annoying. The notifications are just crazy. All right, so there's still no opportunities here for entry, guys. We're just waiting for something here to come up. I'm only going to take something if I see something really good, though. Preferably like a CV entry or something, or a V1. Let's see what we got here. There's not really much going on here now, guys. Price looks like it's just going sideways at this moment. Eventually, it'll probably pick up just like how it's been moving over here. Unfortunately, there's not really any consistency with the price movement. Price will kind of consolidate for a little bit, or not even consolidate. It'll keep moving, but just very small. And then all of a sudden, a big candle comes out of nowhere. And it just keeps doing that over and over and over again. So looking at the price break over here, it looks like this was just a fake out. So you can see how price broke above it, faked out, came back down. And now price is pretty much just consolidating within this middle area right here. So we have a pending sell signal right here on this current candle. The volatility did pick up again on this candle here now. This candle right here is decently big. So I'll be looking for a possible CV entry right here. The candle looks, whenever I see a big entry like this, or a big candle like this, I typically look for the CV to follow, because it's probably going to fill this huge candle right here, especially after a big push like that. Okay, so there's a possible CV entry right here that's coming up. Price just can't drop any lower. So there can't be any pushback. If there's any pushback, then this low is going to be pushed back further. There you go. So there's no CV entry there, of course. That's what I was hoping not to happen. Typically, if you get a big, if you get a following candle and it's actually pretty strong, it'll probably push up. Like if there's no wick on the bottom. So if you ever notice that, I started to notice that after a while. Like for example, if you see a sell signal, it's followed by a red candle with no wick on top, it typically pushes down at least a little bit. This could be a possible V1 variation though. No, I take that back, sorry. I thought they were on the same level, but they weren't. All right, so like I said, price looks like it's just going to continue ranging between this middle area right here. Not really too much going on. Let's see. I think Daniel. Yeah, so I think this is you, Daniel, right? Daniel was asking, does anyone trade on Mac that uses TradingView and have a copier that they would recommend? So there is no copier for TradingView. The only copier that you could use for that would be, like, you'd have to use Replicano, but then you can just execute your trades on TradingView. So that's like one way to do it. The other way is just through Tradeovate Group Copier. I don't think there's, well, maybe there is now, but from when I was looking back then for other copiers, I don't think there's one that's like on the cloud yet for TradingView. Oh, it's not you, okay. Yeah, whoever this was, I mean, let's respond on here. Oh, David, yeah. Yeah, David. So Replicano is the one that we all use for the most part. It's on NinjaTrader, yeah. So if you guys are curious, like which copier I use, just go to the FAQs over here. I have all the details right here. So it says what copier do I use? Replicano by Flowbots, and obviously Apex right here. But yeah, you can set up Replicano to have your copier active, and then when you execute the trade on TradingView, it should copy over to everything else. But you just have to have it active. But at that point, you might as well just execute the trades on NinjaTrader, so there's no in between. Yeah, the only other copier you can use would be the only other copier that I'm familiar with would be the group trade copier on Tradovate, but you would have to like you can't put an automatic TP stop loss, so it makes it a little tricky. That's one thing you want to be careful for. So the volatility is picking back up over here. Looks like price might be shifting a little bit, but maybe not. Yeah, no problem, David. But your best option would be Replicano on NinjaTrader. That's what I use. That's what majority of the people use. And it's like a one-time fee, so it's a lot. It's cheaper and it's a lot more effective than like what we've used in the past. The cloud ones are cool, but then if you get caught in the trade, it kind of sucks because you'll be trapped in trade. With the Replicano, there's like a force quit button where you can just force everything out. All right, so there's no entry here. I was looking for another opportunity here for a V1 or CV, but there's no CV here since this candle dropped a bit lower. So it looks like price might be attempting to shift below, possibly, possibly not. There might be a V1 variation here. Yeah, so there might be a V1 variation right here, guys, for a push back up. All right, so there's a V1 variation right here. Looks pretty decent. Might be willing to take this here. All right, so I want to take this here for a V1 variation, guys, if it closes green. Got 10 seconds left on it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Order filled.
V1 variation right here. Let's see where the 19 is lined up properly.
Order submitted.
Yeah, I just realized there's news right here at 7:30. It's gap stock change, so it's not typically going to be very heavy. Hoping not. Let's see. So it's forecasted to be positive. Let's see if price reacts to it. I'm hoping it doesn't, or if it does react to it to the upside. It's a little too late for me to pull out of this right now. It's low impact gas stock change happens pretty much every week. The volatility here is a little low. Let's see here as it climbs up. Volatility is just, it's pretty much just dead right now. So let me check the news real quick. So the news was positive like anticipated. And we'll see here if price reacts to it. So hoping it would react in my favor. Yeah, I mean, that was a big mistake on my end. I didn't realize that there was news right there at 7:30. Price still reacts to it, even though it's low impact news. I was hoping to react in the other direction, but we'll see this year. I'm not sure if anybody took this with me. No updates here. Yeah, the gas stock change is just a little.
Hold the sale.
Fuck, I got stopped out. All right, guys. Unfortunately, I got stopped. I don't know how I got stopped out of that position. Well, I would have gotten stopped out already, but I got stopped out earlier right here. I think I know what happened because I have a hard stop on my personal account. So what happened here was it closed me out a little earlier. You guys heard the order filled. It order filled like way up here. So I only got stopped out at about 12. So this is a tool that a lot of people don't have, but I have it on my personal account because my main account that executes my trades is my personal. So on that account, I have a hard stop. So if I ever get to a certain point, my max loss for the day is 1,200. If I ever get to that point, it just stops. It closes all my accounts out. So it's basically a hard stop for the day. Other than that, this trade here was, again, like I said before, it's a FOMO move. Like this is what's always been screwing me over. The reason why this was a bad move was because news was over here at 7:30, and I didn't realize that news was coming up so close, right? Ended up taking it right here, like a minute before news. So it's all good. I mean, it happens. FOMO move right there. Thankfully, I got cut out a little earlier right here. So I got cut out for like about 10 points instead of the full 20. And it just cut me out a little bit lower. So I'm down on my personal account, just 1,300, which is all good. I'm still green for the week, but unfortunately took the trade there. FOMO move right at news, and I'm just gonna eat that loss. Yeah, Amal said I thought you wouldn't trade for the day if you have a loss. I typically don't, but again, like I just said, it was a FOMO move. Usually I wouldn't, but the way that the market's currently been moving, there's been a lot of entries here. So in a situation like this where the volatility is decently high, it's a lot safer to take more entries than one. But again, I should have just followed my rules and stayed away from the entry. But on top of that, there was other reasons here why it was a bad move. I think the biggest one was that it happened right at news right here. And then you can see, even though the news was positive, like very positive, it still ended up dropping. So this is why there was just a lot of reasons here. This is a very bad move. For one, I took a loss for the day already, so I shouldn't have traded. For two, it was right before news. And for three, I probably should have just pulled it out. So I should have just pulled out when I knew I made the mistake, but I held on to it, hoping that price was going to push in my direction. And then it ended up pushing the complete opposite right here. So it's all good. I'm gonna eat that loss. I'm gonna count that as a 10-point loss because I cut it out a little early. This is for a V1 variation. A loss of 10 points. Damn, so I pretty much threw away a lot of my profits for this week so far. I'm still in profit for the week, but overall, yeah, I basically threw away basically 3 wins. So we had 4 wins for this week. I basically threw away 3 wins. I'm still in the green right now, plus the fees. So unfortunately, I'm down to like about 300 per account profit. So it's a mistake on my bet. Anyways, let's see if there's anything else here. I'm not going to take anything else now at this point. Obviously, I can't. My accounts are locked out. So that's what one feature. If you guys trade a personal account, that's one of the good features, is that once you have your account pretty much liquidated, or not liquidated, but it's you have your hard stop triggered, then my accounts are pretty much locked for the day. So I can't trade at all anymore. So that's that. The reason why I put that hard stop there is so that like you said, Vimal, like how Vimal said, I don't trade after one loss, because we had 1 win today. I was in profit. So in order for me to have that hard stop triggered, I would have to lose, 1 total for the day. So my loss for today is basically equal to if I just had 1 loss today, not 1 win. So that goes there. Let's see if there's anything else here for us to look at. There's so the levels entry actually came in the opposite direction here. So you guys see how it came down below right here, closed below, came back above, came back below right here, and then it drops to the next level. So the levels played out in the opposite direction here. Price came below it, divergence happened right there, crossed above, crossed back below on this divergence, and then it ended up pushing down from here. Let's see, something here from Visual Trader. So Visual said if you have an account with multiple prop firms, you can use Quant Tower and you can copy all of your accounts. You just need to buy the advanced package. Yeah, so what Visual mentioned right there, that works well if you're on Rhythmic. So I'm not on Rhythmic, unfortunately, I can't use Quant Tower. But if you guys do sign up to Rhythmic through Apex, you guys can use Quant Tower and have multiple prop firms and multiple accounts through that one platform. I personally don't like Rhythmic though. If you guys have noticed, Rhythmic has had a lot of issues over the past couple of weeks. People haven't been able to log in. There's been a lot of trades that have just been getting trapped. So I'd be careful with Rhythmic. I think they fixed it for the most part, but there's still issues with it. I've had issues with it myself in the past when I was trading on Top Step, and I don't know, I just didn't like it very much. So let's see if we have anything else over here. So it's 7:36 right now, guys. Price is back to open right here. Price is right back to open. And we'll see how price reacts to this area here. One of two things will happen. So now that price is back to open, price will either bounce off it, shoot back up for correction, or price will break below and continue dropping from there. One or two scenarios here that can play through. Liquidity is pretty much done. All liquidity got hit for today, so there's nothing to look at here. Looking at our clean chart, it looks like price is back to the 4-hour resistance point. I'll take this off right here. So this looks like the entire range for the day. Looks like this is the actual range. There's no lower low that came up, so this is pretty much the actual range for the day so far. We're getting closer to 8 o'clock. As you guys can see, the volatility is starting to die down a little bit. And I don't really see too much going on here. All right, so price is pretty far down right now. It's pretty far down and it's in the middle of all of these red flags. So if anything, price might just consolidate down here like it did earlier in the session, and eventually make a move probably past 8. So let's see. Yeah, there's not really much here to look at. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll see how price moves for the next 5-10 minutes. If nothing here happens, we'll just wrap it up for the day. There's just no reason to trade down here. Also, the trend is shifting to a bearish trend. So if this ends up coming below this point, like it would have to drop way past here before you can start looking for any other entries. Let's see, Brian's asking, what are the correct setting timeframes for the trend meter? You have to set them all to chart. So you go and you set them to chart. It's gonna show you what the trend is on the specific time frame that you're on. Because if you don't see it here, you're probably on the intraday settings, which is like pretty much the entire day, which you don't really care about. You don't really care about if you're on the 1-minute scalping, right? So just go to your settings, change them all to chart, and then that'll show up as the 1 minute trend for the trend meter. Yeah, no problem, Brian. Good to see you back, bro. You back from vacation? You actually trading out there? I know you've been in Vietnam for like what, like a month now, couple weeks. Trading in Vietnam. Yeah, it looks like you got good internet out there then. I know some people try to trade when they travel, and it's kind of tough because depending on where you're at, the internet's kind of shoddy. All right. So we got price breaking below the the opening price. We'll see if price ends up staying below here or if it bounces up and starts to climb up from this point. But at the moment, there's just nothing for us to really take here right now. Let's see, price is dropping below the levels right here. So if it drops below the levels, you'll be looking for the same pattern again, looking for it to break below, come back above, look for divergence back down, and then continuation lower. So you're mainly looking at the divergence right here. Let's take a look at the team profits for the day. So for the day so far, we have Natasha here, 271. We have Jonathan here, total profit of 800 on his first account, 480 on his second, 560 on his third. And unfortunately, he took some loss. He took the loss from earlier on that BV3, but he's still up for the week so far. So as you guys can see, I mean, everyone's pretty much still up for the week so far. Tom over here is not, unfortunately. I don't know if we missed one of the trades, Tom, but I think all of us are still up. I'm still up a little bit, like 300 per account. That was because I got the hard. Oh, I can see what happened. So Tom he didn't get the hard stop like me. So I think if you guys took the other trade, you might have gotten a bigger loss. But for me, I had that hard stop, so it just pulled me out at 10 points instead of the 20. So it's all good. We still have one more day. Hopefully by tomorrow, for NFP, it's gonna move pretty smoothly. And we'll have like 1 or 2 entries to bring us back into the green for the week, or a majority of people back into the green. Other than that, we don't really have much going on right here, guys. As you can see, price is kind of just sitting at opening price. One of 2 things are going to happen here. Price is currently bouncing off opening price. You got to look out for the fake outs though. So price is either going to bounce off it, climb back up, or price is going to break below and continue dropping. It's going to break away from this area at some point. I don't know if this will happen from now until 8, because typically from now until 8, the market slows down a bit. This is usually why I stop trading around like 740, 745, maybe even 730 in some instances. But that's kind of like the case here, it looks like. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll answer whatever you guys need help with. Otherwise, it's not looking like too much is going to happen here. This price sits still right here down the middle. Yeah, it's not really much here to look at. Let's take a look at the news for today. Nothing else coming up. Looking at CNBC, no updates for the day. Everything's pretty much flat for the most part. Looking at the retail sentiment's pretty much neutral. It hasn't really moved too much. It stays right down the middle. There's not really too much of a bias here. Price can really go in either direction. So it doesn't really affect us too much because we're trading in both directions anyways. But for the most part, there's not one direction to look at here. All right, Akil, we'll see you back here tomorrow. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. As you guys can see, price is just sitting right here at the opening price. It's not really going to do much from now until 8. All I'm expecting price to do from now until 8 o'clock is to just go sideways. So for the most part, I think it's best to just wrap it up and not exactly force anything here. I mean, I can't force anything even if I wanted to, because my accounts are locked for the day. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. 7:45 right now. We typically stay around until like 8, but for this specific reason, there's nothing going on here. Price is probably just going to go sideways. I think if you stay on for that long enough, you're probably going to want to FOMO into some trade. And at this point, there's just no need to do that. We have one more day tomorrow to bounce back. And I think it's better to just save your capital for then. So, yeah, I agree with you too, Nick. I should have just skipped that last one. That was my bad. I'm surprised nobody said anything about news because news was like at 7 o'clock. I guess people just weren't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention either to news. And I just got caught in that reversal. I mean, it went literally straight down from the news. So the news happened right here at 7:30, and you can see how that candle has no wick on top. It was such a strong red candle, it just ended up pushing straight through. It's all good though, it happens. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll be back here tomorrow for the next live session as we wrap up this trading week. So, all right, guys, if you guys have questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys here tomorrow.